Welcome back to part 3 of our 3-part video series on alternatives to your tampon during your moon time. So for part 3, we're going over the menstrual sponge. So here it is in all of its glory. So this one I have actually already gotten wet. So typically what would happen if you ordered these in the mail is they would come and it's a sponge. It would be hard. It would be dried out. So you're not actually going to use a completely dried out sponge during your menstrual time. You would get it wet. Let me get it in some water here. And then you would squeeze it out so that the sponge itself was wet but not dripping anything out of it. So now it's more formable. So from here then you would make it as small as you can. And then you would insert it. It does not have a string or a tab or anything. So I want you to think of the sponge more like a tampon. So it's going to absorb your menstrual flow rather than capture it in a cup, which means that it also comes with the risk of toxic shock syndrome that would come with the tampon. So if I actually decided that I wanted to take the time and use my opinion and rate the 9 options that you have during your moon time into what I think is the best option all the way down to the worst option, I think that this might actually come in last. And let me tell you why. I'm a little concerned about this product. I'm concerned about this product because it has the absorbency of an ultra tampon and the risk of toxic shock syndrome. So if the tampons are saying, hey guys, we need you to use the lowest absorbency possible, we don't want you using an ultra and not changing it for 12 hours or 24 hours because that increases your risk of toxic shock syndrome, please use the lowest one that you can get away with, then why would we be using a sponge that holds the equivalency of an ultra and has that risk of toxic shock syndrome? So I did a little bit of research, and if you go to my blog, 9 Ways to an Easier Period, what you'll see is the link where I found that yes, they have indeed actually had women have toxic shock syndrome from using a menstrual sponge. And the reasoning that they feel like it was happening is because there's tiny abrasions that happen inserting or removing the sponge, and sometimes little pieces of the sponge get left behind, and that's where the staph is growing. So just keep that in mind if this is an option that you want to try. Again, I feel like there can be a time and a place for anything and everything. So there might be a time and a place for you to use this. I personally don't know if I would use this as my primary menstrual product on a regular basis just because of that risk of toxic shock syndrome. So it's pretty easy though. So one of the things that you can do is you can tie a string or something around it so that you actually have a pull cord if you want to do it that way. Or you would just think of it more like an OB tampon that doesn't have the actual string to it. You would make it really small. I'll show you one more time. You would insert it in, you would let it go, and then it would start from there to absorb your menstrual flow. So as promised, I want to show you how much this actually holds. So let me squeeze out just enough so that, we don't want it at leaking capacity. We just want it at absorbing capacity. All right, so here we are. I've got this as absorbed as I can without leaking. So then think that this would be the maximum time before you would need to actually excuse yourself and go and rinse it out and get a second one. So first I'm going to squeeze the fluid from here into the soft cup. So get around so you can see it. So it's not all the way to the top. Remember though that when you are removing this that you have to tilt it to the side, so you don't necessarily want it all the way to the rim anyway, because then you're definitely going to spill it out when removing it. And then I'm going to pour it. So when I pour it into here, it actually fills it all the way to the top. So that sponge held approximately a 0.85, so almost a full ounce of water. We probably could have even put a full ounce into that. And it filled this one all the way to the top. So these three products all hold about the same amount of menstrual flow, which is the equivalent, once again, to the Ultra tampon, which is the highest absorbency tampon at this point on the market. So for all of you women who have high flows, maybe using tampons and pads because you're leaking all the time, these could be really great alternatives that can help you with that. It doesn't mean that you'll be able to wear it for 12 hours, but you might be able to wear it longer and not have as many leaks and issues happening that might be happening with your tampon and your pad combination. Well, I hope that you enjoyed these 3 videos. Feel free to leave any comments or questions below and I will get back with you. Also, if you are already using one of these products and you have a favorite brand, feel free to leave comments as to why you chose that brand. Is it a Diva? Is it a Lunette? Is it Ollie? There's so many different brands. The Soft Cup is pretty much just called Soft Cup. I haven't found another brand at this point, but it would look like this. It comes with 14 in a box. So if you're using one for 12 hours, this would be 1 month supply for 7 days. Right, well, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm also going to link a fabulous website that I found online that you can buy different alternative brand products all in one place, and they even have these really cool little kits that have multiple stuff all put together so that you can try them all at one time. So look for that as well. I look forward to seeing you guys all again soon. Thanks.